That's Kevin Gorg at Gorgomatic 21 via the X machine. Wild and Avalanche tonight, 7 o'clock KFAN. It's 11:05. Good morning, and we're going to get into that momentarily. I want to get something off my proverbial chest about Nordo and I chatted about it yesterday. Both of you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yes, it has some narrow casting to it, but I want to get it off my chest if you don't mind, because that's what quarter century plus brothers do. Okay. So I had a win bet on the Derby winner, Golden Tempo, at like 23-1. So despite the win bet on Golden Tempo, I still lost over 2 days, which is inexplicable. Okay, but we've been there, right?
You weren't alone. Everybody I talked to lost, including myself.
We've been through a lot.
Yep.
But, I mean, when you got 40 to win, when you got whatever to win,
right, there you go,
on a nice price, and you still find a way to lose over 2 days, that's pretty bad.
It's frustrating.
So here's what's eating at me. And for all my faults, dwelling is not one of them. But this is eating at me still. And when we were texting yesterday and the Nordo played the Derby highlight and talked about it a little bit, here's what's eating at me. I sent you the screenshot. I played a $112 trifecta at 1 p.m. Okay? And the Derby's at 6. So I played a $112 trifecta at 1 p.m. after losing 13 consecutive plays from Friday through Saturday. So I come out of the gate Friday, I hit the first two, I'm popping tags. Stefanski's dad, Ed, had a steamer on Oaks Day, 5-2. Boom, I can't lose. Well, I proceed to lose 13 consecutive plays after that. I'm getting buried because now I'm losing discipline. I'm increasing bets. Instead of betting 15 or 20 at Tampa Bay Downs, I'm now betting 50 on Van Winkle to win. It's running second. I mean, everything's going pear-shaped. So I'm like, so now I'm going to bet the Derby, leave, come back and watch it. After losing 13 consecutive plays, I was so sour that I made that trifecta bet, and it was like 152. And I'm like, I'm not spending that. So I kicked out all the 20s. The
also eligibles that drew in.
Yes. Yep. 24, 23, 22, 21, or whatever who got scratched.
Ironically, I did the same thing with a ticket that didn't hit.
Are you kidding me?
I did. Well, yeah, no. I'm
not using you, and you. You're not supposed to be in the race. One of you who ran third
no credentials.
The one who ran third's a maiden.
Right.
Never has won.
Right.
So I kicked him out. Here's the deal. I mean, I would have had an all-in third, okay, as opposed to having 17 of the 20 or whatever, 16 of the 19.
And that was a $40 difference that cost you $6,000.
$6,000. And I had it right in front of me, looking at it, my man, ready to hit finish, kick out the ticket. And I let my emotions get the best of me like the high-headed cleat. And was like, no, I'm getting too stuck. I need to save $36.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
That's frustrating for sure.
$6,000, man.
That's what makes the Derby so tantalizing. And I tell people all the time, like, you're not going to win this race often. When you hit it, you're probably going to have to hit it pretty good. And my theory is you could run that race 10 times last Saturday and get 8 different winners because of the trips. There's always traffic. There's always horses bouncing off other horses. The pace sometimes gets just out of control, which it did on Saturday to a point. It wasn't crazy, but it got fast. Yeah. They bunched up on the front end. Mm-hmm. The horses that ran 1, 2, and 3 all came from way off the pace. And that's the beauty of it is you can bet $150 and score for $6,000 without having to work too hard. The two that ran 1, 2, on paper, if you were saying, I'm going to bet for a pace collapse, I think closers are going to do well. In my opinion, those were the two best closers in the race because Commandment, who runs off the pace, is more of a mid-pace guy. He's not a deep closer. Those were two deep closers.
And he made a sweet little move, then got just busted up at the 8 pole.
And the other thing that people don't understand is the horses that ran 1, 2, arguably, are two of the best 3 jockeys on the planet. Jose and Irad Ortiz. You throw out Flavian Pratt. Those are probably your 3 best jockeys in the world. And that trifecta paid $6,000. All you got to, again, in theory, you look back and say, you could have had this. And absolutely, you could have and probably should have.
No way Golden Tempo wins the Preakness, right? Is he even running?
He's 50-50 to run.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great story with Cherie DeVoe, who's an excellent trainer. She's been out at Saratoga knocking heads with the best ever for a decade. So, no, he's 50-50. It's a field of second-tier horses, in my opinion. You've got Cassie's got one that ran in the Arkansas Derby that likely will be one of the favorites. You know, a horse like
Renegade's not running in the Preakness.
Oh, no. They're all saving it for the Belmont's going to be loaded in June. The trainers don't come back in 2 weeks anymore. They just don't do it.
Right.
And so you get that 5 week gap to the Belmont.
Triple Crown Dad.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and this horse is so pace dependent that you wonder if he's ever going to get a scenario like that again. He's a nice horse. Like you mentioned, he ran some good prep races down Fairgrounds way, but horses that close from that far back, and he was dead last, they are pace dependent, and you don't always see a pace like that except in a race like the Derby with all those horses.
Lastly, because you're a snob with stuff like this, here's the official chart caller's description of Renegade's route to second place. Okay, because Renegade was the best horse in the race. And
yeah. How about that 7? How about that horse?
The Japanese horse?
The horse was up on the pace the entire way, and the only horse that survived that pace.
And he bursted with 300 yards to go like he was going to win.
I have to think that horse ran the best race that particular day.
Now, I watched the drone overhead bit, and I did not watch the 7 because I didn't think he got in any trouble.
He did all the heavy lifting.
Well, okay. Well, with Renegade, as we discussed, from the inside.
Tough spot.
With a rider who's going to have to make... I think I read move too early on Renegade because he panicked a little bit because of positioning and stuff. But hey, it's the Derby with 20 horses, man. So here is the trip Renegade, who I think should have won the race, had. Renegade bumped with Albus at the start, was slammed again shortly after when Litmus Test came in, settled well back, saving ground, came under a ride into the second turn, picked his way through traffic while ranging into contention, angled to the far outside into the stretch, was bumped again when Incredibolt came out near the 3/16 pole, soldiered on, taking dead aim at the leader, battled hard, but was unable to resist the winner. You go look at those, I mean, it's wow.
He ran a great race.
That horse just got messed up.
You know, Rapoli, the owner, is kind of a loudmouth, and I know he rubs people the wrong way, and that documentary that was on Netflix kind of showed that.
Yeah,
I thought
the end of it was embarrassing.
I thought he handled defeat about as classy as a loudmouth can. He was legitimately happy for Jose Ortiz, who also rides some of his horses, and he was legitimately happy for Cherie DeVoe. To me, that's the story of the race. First female trainer in the history of the Kentucky Derby, 152 years. And she's a great ambassador for the game because she's such a good trainer. She'll win other big races. And so very happy for her, very happy for the connections. And I thought Chief Wallaby, the horse, if you go back and watch his trip, when he was making his big move into the stretch, that's the beauty of these horses coming out of the race for that Belmont Stakes that weekend at Saratoga. There's 4 or 5 horses in that race that had really tough trips, and he's one of them.
How do we win tonight, and how do we slow that whole thing tonight?
Well, I'm very encouraged because I think Minnesota probably played their B- game in game 1 and still had a chance to win that hockey game. Now, Colorado's elite. They're the best team in the league, and it's going to take some major adjustments. They've got to get better in terms of their gaps through the neutral zone. Their defensemen, to me, were too far back, respecting the speed of Colorado, giving them room entering the zone. This is correctable. That's why John Hines brought the correctable, the word up on his post-game presser. Neutral zone play in general on the defensive side of the puck has to be better. They have to be quicker to react, and I thought they got a little over-aggressive. And part of it is PA. They were chasing the game down 3-0, and the Wild are a very aggressive team when they get down, and their D were pinching. And then when you get back to 5-4, or even 5-5 going to the third, you don't have to keep doing that. And against Colorado, you can't get away with some of those mistakes like you can against a team like Dallas, which is much more of a zone-to-zone team. But, if they had Brodeen and Eck, I'd really like our chances in this series. It's going to be tough, especially losing game 1, scoring 6 goals. But it starts with better play without the puck. And if they do that, I still think they have a chance to get right back in this thing.
Understatement of the day and series, but I just want your hockey mind to go with it how you want. Too bad no Brodeen or Recchi, right?
Brodin, and again, normally Eck is the most irreplaceable player on this roster. If you look at any given day through the season, he's the guy. I would say that's different in this series because of Brodin and how that changes the way the blue line looks for Minnesota. If you look at what Brodin can do and look at the games against Edmonton when he's out there against McDavid, every shift that Hines can get him out there. Against a speed team, Brodin is your biggest asset defensively. He's the best skating D, the best shutdown D they have. And so now his slot is available. Middleton slots in. He's a big, rugged, physical player. The matchup to me was a challenge in game one. And that'll be something I look at today coming out of practice with John Hines. Is he going to slide Damon Hunt into that spot, keeping Bogosian and Middleton together in that third set and use more of a speed pair to defend that top line of Colorado? I don't know if you can get away with it because you don't have the last change and get to make that matchup your own. But there'll be some adjustments. I love the way Hines coaches. He's a tactician. He puts a ton of time in. He is in that coaching staff. I'm sure I've watched that game back 15 times. They're going to have a different game plan for game two, and I think you're going to see a much more direct defensive effort by the Wild.
Despite the outcome, what did you think of Sunday night's game? Like when it's racehorse like that,
awesome to watch.
And you end up with 15 goals.
Awesome to watch.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like if you're a sports fan and you're coming to hockey and you're like, well, man, it's Sunday night. I heard the Avalanche are really good, and I don't normally watch hockey, but I'm going to watch this. Great for the game. Great skill on both sides. The speed, the play, it was terrific. Now, from a coaching perspective, clearly both coaches are going to tell you they want to see things tighten up, and they likely will, PA. Mm-hmm. But just from an entertainment value and watching high-end talent do what they did, I loved watching that game.
Well, Wedgwood clearly, I mean, the Wild gave up 9 goals. Wedgwood clearly is no bargain. I ain't saying he's bad. I ain't saying he's high-end, but
he had a tough night.
He can be had.
He can be had. Coming into the series, Colorado has an edge at almost every position. The one spot where, as you handicap this series, you said, where does Minnesota have an edge on paper? It's between the pipes. Now, that didn't bear out in game number one. It wasn't just on Wally. For a multitude of reasons, it didn't bear out that way. But leaving that game, I don't feel like there's any situation in this series where Minnesota can't get to 3 or 4 goals. And knowing John Hines and the way he coaches and the way his team responds to some of the adjustments he makes, at some point I feel like they can slow this thing down a little bit. And if they do, some of these games are going to be there for the taking. Tonight being one of those opportunities where I think Minnesota is going to play a much better game defensively, and that gives them a real shot because neither one of those Colorado goalies has really been tested significantly during this season, and certainly he wasn't tested, Wedgwood, in that first round against LA.
Okay, so with what you said 8 minutes ago about the Blue Liners, unpack that a little bit for us / me. So like Faber in the Dallas series, whether it's pinching, crashing the net, a legitimate scoring option. Okay, then I asked Heinze, it's like, all right, well, that's great that he's doing that, but I mean, does it leave you leaky or potentially vulnerable in certain spots if the puck bounces the wrong way or hits a skate or a stick? And he's like, no, we got that covered with F whatever. So it's obviously all covered. But when you talk about miscalculating Colorado speed with defensemen and the ability to get, like, what do you mean with that?
Well, what I think you have to realize is if you've got 3 people forechecking, your third forechecker, I'm sure Hines mentioned F3.
Yeah, it was F3.
That forechecker has got to be responsible. Okay. He's got to stay in the high slot to give the strong side D, where the puck is, the chance to hustle to the half wall. Minnesota's so good at getting to the half wall and interrupting that breakout play. Faber being one of them. So good. Spurgeon, so adroit at cutting that play off when teams come around their net and try to throw it up to the wing. They like to break that play up. Where they got into trouble in game one is they got 3 forwards trapped in too low. Their D kept pinching, and then odd number rushes would go the other way. Colorado is expert in 2 areas: transition hockey, defense to offense, and then scoring goals off the rush, which means they can have a 3-on-3, but with their speed and skill entering the zone, if you give them the space, then they're going to make a play that's going to give them a grade A scoring chance, which most teams cannot do unless they have odd numbers.
Hockey analyst Kevin Gorg for a couple of segments, 9 to noon. Wild and Avs tonight, 7 o'clock on KFAN. And we'll discuss more of that. But first, we got some money to give away.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. This hour's keyword is Bills. You can win with the keyword Bills. Just enter it now at KFAN.com.
Does Gabriel Landeskog bug you?
Depends on the day. I mean, he certainly has the agitator gene to him. He's a terrific player. I heard you on with the Vox of all Voxes on my drive in, and he's been a captain there since he was 19. So there's a lot of great qualities. You want him on your team. His comeback story is pretty cool. But no, I don't love him. I saw he was trying to get under the skin of Brock Faber. That's out of respect to what Brock does. Like, they know how valuable a player Brock Faber is, and so they're going to send Landeskog in there after whistle to dust up on 7 and try to get him off his game, because Brock's so incredibly good at what he does. And that top pairing now, I think that the responsibility of both Faber and Hughes gets magnified with this Brodin injury.
I throughout parts of Game 1, I felt like there could be parallels from the Dallas series. Like, if we lean on him, if we can get physical in the right way, Foligno, super legal but powerful hit on Makar that kind of had him in a lurch for a little bit, had to leave, and he eventually came back and got us a couple times. But is there a way where are they mitigating our ability to be physical? Again, wonky Game 1, but can we come back and lean on them a little bit tonight and have some of the success with that we did at times with Dallas?
We play a different style. I mean, they actually out-hit Minnesota in Game 1, which shocked me. But
shocked me too, yeah.
Their speed makes them harder to hit than most teams, and so you have to pick and choose your spots. You can't go running out there looking just for hits. But I think if you get into a game that's more zone to zone, where you can actually put pucks in directly into spots where you can get a hit on a Makar, where you can be physical with their defensemen before they're able to get their feet moving. And we saw a little bit of that when he did leave the game. Foligno got in on that forecheck and gave him a real good hit. He's clearly dealing with something minor, but that's part of the game. Like, you've got to get physical with this hockey team, and I thought Colorado had way too much space to operate in Game 1. That's an adjustment that the Wild are going to have to make tonight.
Some of these adjustments into the game that I'm thinking of as well, whether it's the adjustment from a physicality standpoint, defensively being ready off these jumps. When these Avs, man, with these set plays and bits they have off of draws, if you pick the wrong guy like Kaprizov, speaking of Makar on that first goal he had, it's over for you in a second. Are these adjustments that, just given the equity of this team and the coach and some of the big names that we know and love, that these are adjustments? It's like, yeah, they should have this tonight. That should be, that part of the dam should be plugged.
Can't get beat that clean off the face-off. And I know it was the wrong read by Kirill, but it starts with a face-off where you don't touch the puck. And so, yeah, there'll be adjustments. They'll look at that film. There are tendencies for both these teams. And I thought overall Minnesota did a nice job on the dot. I thought Danilo Yurov, coming back off the healthy scratch, had a sneaky good game in Game 1. I thought the aforementioned Damon Hunt, making his playoff debut, had a sneaky good game. There were a lot of positives, Nordo, to take from that game. The depth that Minnesota has, and again, no one's going to be able to outmatch Colorado up front with the top line, but lines 3 and 4 for Minnesota, where the Foligno brothers lie, where McCarron lies, where the Russians lie with Trenyan and Tarasenko, that's where Minnesota can make their hay in this series. Those depth lines, that's where the Wild have an edge, and they have to take advantage of that. They did in Game 1. They scored 6 goals. There are a ton of positives to take from that game. But as I mentioned, the only way you're going to have a chance to beat Colorado is to tighten things up.
Yeah, tighten things up, indeed. I couldn't agree with you more on that. Never mind. But the PA, when he was talking with Roach and praising, and rightly so, like, you go into a game thinking about Nietzsche's, right? Sneaky 100-point guy, and he backs into the freaking zone, looks weird, but then just the passing and the options with him are endless, it seems, and McKinnon and Makar, et cetera. But then it's Blackwell or excuse me, Blankenberg. Then it's Lankinen. You don't talk about him maybe as much as you would the guys he's on a line with. Similarly with us, it was Johansson to get things rolling for us when we absolutely needed it. It was Tarasenko. How about the goal that he had? Like, I feel like our wild cards are pretty damn good, too. It's something to remember, despite getting trounced the other night.
Minnesota has depth. There's no doubt. They've got some players on the bottom part of their roster that can do some damage in this series. And I do feel like at some point, Boldy and Kaprizov are going to have big games in this series. Colorado, what I was most surprised by watching that game is even at 7-5, after Minnesota had really put a scare into them 5-4, Colorado was still playing up-tempo, offense-first hockey. They were refusing to play that, with a 2-goal lead, middle of the third period, I'm going to shut you down. They don't think that way, which tells me that the top-end talent Minnesota has is going to get some really good looks in this series, and I'm still not certain the Colorado goalies are going to stand up. If the Wild can extend the series, like if it's a quick series, Minnesota's in trouble. If it goes 4-5, clearly losing game one the way they did, they're in big trouble. But if you extend this series, if you play physical with this hockey team, if you can shore things up defensively, and it gets into a 6 or 7 game meat grinder, that's where I think Minnesota can exert some of their will on Colorado. That's the big if for me.
Makar and Hughes, Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes. It seems they're trying to show fans and the league who is the better blue liner and why, aren't they? I mean, it's just natural and inherent, no hard feelings. I got you in Milan. You may have gotten me here. But they both hear and read stuff. Makar 1, Hughes 1A, Hughes 1, Makar 1A. I mean, the way they played the other night, they're out there trying to show the other, I'm better than you.
That's the game within the game for sure, PA. They're both spectacular players. They're a little bit different in that I look at Quinn Hughes. The stretch passing is the best in the National Hockey League, and that's his calling card, and he's got that edge on Makar. Makar's a better shooter of the puck, and we saw that unfortunately play out in game number 1. They're both incredibly talented. They're so important for their hockey teams. And I think both teams, when they try to defend those two guys and try to get in on the forecheck, are going to take their runs. And you saw both players take big hits in game 1. That's going to be a trend throughout the series. And I love the way Quinn Hughes and Brock Faber play off each other. Brock is able to go out there and do the heavy lifting with the physical play, and Quinn is so efficient at breaking the puck out. Makar, to me, is still the best in the world, and I think he showed some of that, not even playing a full game in game 1. So you have to mark him every time he's on the ice because he's always looking to get involved in the rush, and when he gets there, he knows what to do. I'm not putting the youthful nature and vigor of former Gopher Jackson Lacombe in that conversation with Makar and Hughes. Shoot the puck, kid. Was that the case last night? Oh my God, he had a wide open net. I'm in Wolves, so I watched a lot of the previous series against Edmonton, but I was in full Wolves mode last night, writing stuff like that. So I know that they took a dirty loss last night. There was some offside. Bad missed icing call late in the game cost them the go-ahead goal. Anaheim played terrific last night. When I started watching that Edmonton series, and I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I know who John Carlson is. He's Hockey Immortality, and I know it was a trade and the whole thing. Troy Terry. Who knew? Leo Carlson, I've heard your name. Leo's a stud. Who knew? And oh wow, Jackson Lacombe is awesome. Really good. So you think he's really good too? He's a stud. Okay. This guy plays. What is he? Third year, maybe? Third year. Played with Brock Faber, obviously the team that lost to the National. And Nye. All those guys. Yeah. This kid is a special talent. He got a pass in the slot. Carter Hart was beat. He had. If the net's 24 square feet, he had 20 feet of net, and he had his head down. When it was 1-1? And he passed it back to the slot, and it was like, dude, just peek, take one quick look. He had the entire net, and I'm certain he'll look at the film and say, oh, man, if I ever get that chance again, fire that puck right away. He had it. It was a sure, absolute goal. It would have been 1-1. It was 1-0 at the time. They ended up tying it up. 6 minutes to go in the period to force Vegas into that icing situation that didn't get called. Wow. Is this a career resurgence of sorts for Mikael Granlund? Granted, he used to play here with us. Elite passer and never was big on the scoring. Then he would score, but he was just smart and crafty and savvy. I know he went to Nashville. I don't know where else he went. He's ever changed. Well, it's following him in that Edmonton series. I'm like, holy cow, he's still good. He's still really good. He's a guy you can put in your middle six. He can play power play. He's one of those players you kind of forget about. And then when the lights are brightest, the guy will make a play.
Yep.
And it's ironic because as I was getting ready to do the show with you, I was looking back at 2014 when Minnesota played Colorado, McKinnon's rookie year. Minnesota lost the first 2 games in Denver, came back to win that series in 7. Granlund scored the most important goal in that series. It was Game 3 in St. Paul after losing the first 2 in heartbreaking fashion, 0-0 into overtime. He scores the game-winning goal. He's always been that guy, and he's easy to forget about because he's smaller. He doesn't flash when he plays, but he's super smart, and I'm telling you, when those lights get bright, watch for Granny.
Wild and Avs, 7 o'clock KFAN. With game 1, crazy with all that action that took place. Boldy, Kaprizov, and McKinnon didn't blow up the box score, right? I mean, should that not be crazy?
It's surprising when you see 15 goals and Boldy and Kaprizov each only have an assist, and it takes McKinnon an empty net to get his goal. Listen, they're all going to have their moments in this series. I think for Minnesota's sake, they want to play this series where the depth players matter more. And if you can slow McKinnon just a little bit, maybe stay out of the box just a little bit, not allow him to take over a game, because every night, PA, he's capable of taking the game over. I mean, it's McDavid 1, and it's a real tiny gap to this kid, McKinnon, and he's such a great player.
With not only McKinnon, but just the cocksure nature of the Avs, and they hadn't played in 8 days, so they hadn't played in a week. But I mean, the speed, okay, they're known for speed, racehorse hockey. I mean, they show off so much on a rush with the drop passes. Okay, the drop passes in elite play in hockey, I get it. But they drop just to drop sometimes. Like Landeskog tried one, a no-looker to McKinnon. McKinnon wasn't ready for it by, I think, the half wall, and that led to Foligno shorty. But they're always doing the showy stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong here. I mean, they're cycling, and just the speed with which they play and execute the gifts. I mean, it's as impressive as I can remember. All these drop passes and everything, man. Do they always play like that?
They take chances. That's who they are. And I think we got a little glimmer. And again, as these series play out, there's always narratives that come through. They're going to be a team that's going to stay on the offense no matter what the score is. If you blow a 3-0 lead, you get down 5-4 in a hockey game, you rally to take a 7-5 lead in a playoff game in the third period, and you're still playing that way, well, that tells me there's going to be opportunity for the other team. And so if Minnesota can get some turnovers, make some plays physically, if they can create some offense from defense, they're going to have opportunities in this series to score goals. I will be very surprised if at any point Minnesota doesn't have a chance to get to 3 or 4 goals every night. What's going to matter for Minnesota is, can they stop Colorado from getting to 5? Because as Alan Roach talked about, they play a lot of games throughout the balance of the 7 or 8 months of the schedule where they put 5 or 6 on the board. That's who they are.
Budsy, Joe O'Donnell, radio voice for the Wild, just tweeted. I'm sure others have too. I just saw it. John Hines says Philip Gustafson starts in the net for the Wild tonight, game 2. Your thoughts?
Well, before the playoffs started, I was asked, like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, well, I think if the Wild go on a run this year, both guys are likely going to have to play. You got to win 16 games to win a Stanley Cup. That's the goal of this hockey team. They played 2 all year long. Likely, both guys are going to have to play. I felt really bad for Jesper Wallstedt in game 1 because he did get a little bit hung out to dry. And no, he did not have his best stuff. He did not play at the level we saw him play in that Dallas series. But a lot of those goals, man, I mean, I'm telling you, from playing that position, he was really left out in a tough spot. So I feel for him a little bit. He'll be fine. The Gustafson thing worries me in this one spot. I know he's a good goalie. He's got great playoff experience, and he had a hell of a game in Denver. First game out of the Olympic break. He stopped 44 out of 45. Wild fans will remember it's the game he threw up in the crease and had to leave for a minute. Jesper had to come in. The Wild won the game 5-2, but the story leaving the rink was the play of Philip Gustafson. It's the gap in time since he's had his last start. He hasn't played in a couple weeks, and when he was playing down the stretch, he was struggling. So Freddie Shabbat's a great goalie coach. You give him some chance to work on the tablet. You work on some things in the interim at practice, morning skate. Clearly, the Wild coaching staff is watching this closely, and they've seen progress because this is a normal cadence for this hockey team. Both goalies have made significant impacts on their success, and so you have to trust that process. And I think you give Wally a chance to take a deep breath. He's a rookie goaltender. If, God forbid, things don't go the Wild's way tonight, you can easily come back with Wally in Game 3 in St. Paul. And I don't think the series is lost if Colorado wins tonight. I do think it's going to be extremely tough, down 2-0, but I do believe that this is not like a must win. When the Wild were down 2-1 against Dallas and on home ice for Game 4, in my opinion, that was a must win for Minnesota. Tonight, you'd love to have it, but it's the right time to give the other guy a shot, and we'll see what Gus can do. His pedigree, PA, his experience gives him a great chance, and I know he'll be hungry.
Okay, it's an opinion. It doesn't have to be right, but you know more about it than me and us. If Gus stops 40 shots and the Wild win 2 or 3-0 tonight,
your decision's been made.
No, I'm going with Wally Game 3.
No, you're not.
Really?
No, you're not.
So the guy who carried you through the
if
first series.
If he goes out and makes 40-plus saves and they win a hockey game,
that was too expensive.
There's no chance you're not coming back with him. I think the harder decision would be Minnesota wins a 5-4 game tonight where they outplay Colorado and Gus plays maybe a B game. Then you've got a decision to make.
Really? See, I'm not seeing it clearly then, because the guy who won the job played certainly well enough, if not more than well enough, to carry you to this series. Blows up. And if I had a say in it, I'm not like he's out because he's bad. He's out because it's never bad to give somebody a mental refresher or a physical refresher. But no, he's our guy in Game 3. So I don't see how that can't be the answer.
It's always going to be a question when you have two.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're right.
You have two,
we're only a week and a half removed from this whole conversation.
And I think for Wild fans that are kind of like, oh, how can they do this? Remember, their best run in 2003, they had two guys, Fernandez and Rolison, and they both played significant games in that entire run in multiple series.
It's a good box.
You've got two guys that played all year long. They basically split the season.
Yep.
Gus has playoff experience. And
now you're piling on.
No, I'm not piling on.
He's got to run up the score a little.
I'm not going to run up anything. I, to be honest.
No, I want you to take it out on me the way you did those on social media the other night.
Stop it.
Because you weren't at Ball Arena because it's nationally televised. Here I am for you.
These Dallas fans coming at us like, come on, man.
Those were Dallas fans?
100%.
Yeah.
Like, let's let it go. Yeah. I mean, can we just, listen.
That was great.
Just let it go, guys.
We loved it.
All right.
So I'm not seeing it clearly. Okay.
No, PA, it's not an easy choice. Like, if John Hines would have called me yesterday, I would have said play Wally.
Yeah.
Like, I would have, if I'm being totally honest. Because then you've got that practice time with Gus in between games 2 and 3 where you can really dial him in.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm not with Freddie Shabbat. I have to trust that those guys know exactly what Gus is bringing to the table. I haven't seen him. None of us have seen him play, but we know how good he can be. We know he was great in that building in February when he came off the Olympic break.
That's a good point.
So, I mean, and he's got the playoff experience. He was excellent in that series against Vegas. So I guess from the coach's perspective, if not now, after getting beat 9-6, when you've got two guys all year long, if not now, when?
Yeah.
And so there you go.
But I'm falling back on what everybody has said, and I agree with it. If you have two goalies, you have none. So I'm looking at, we have one. The one happens to need a mental break, and he's still my one in Game 3.
It's a school of thought. I don't buy the whole if we've got two, we've got none, because I've seen two that are none, and a lot of those teams aren't in the playoffs. I mean, this team has been really good all year long. One of the best 5 teams in the league playing both guys. They've got two guys that are capable of being number ones. What 20 of the different 32 teams in this league? I think
Philly gave Vladar a night off last night and went with some guy who played pretty well.
No, you can do it. I mean, there's a way to do this.
But they'll come back with Vladar.
Probably will. And it'll all depend on what happens tonight. I would say there's a very good chance that Jesper Wallstedt starts Game 3 in St. Paul.
Yep.
But if I'm telling you, if Gus goes out there and stops 40 plus and the Wild win 3-2, there's no way they're taking him out of that net. You ride the hot hand, and the extra days in between, I guess, is the only dynamic that might change that. But it's going to be a decision every night from here on out.
Yep. And Abbott just helped us out with some audio from John Hines, head coach of the Wild, specifically on Gus getting the start tonight.
Gus is going to be in net tonight. We've had 2 very good goalies all year long. Gus has played a lot of good hockey for us. Wally's taken the brunt of the playoffs. He's played 7 straight games. Played very well. The quick turnaround at the end of the series. To come to Colorado. And, we have confidence in both of our goalies. They're both excellent. They both played really good hockey. We believe in either one of them can win us a game. And I think it's a good opportunity to get Gus in the net. He's hungry to get in. I think he dealt with not playing for a while. Obviously, Wally played very well. Our team won and continued to go through, but we got another excellent goalie that's hungry to get back in the net.
Heinze.
Heinze, though.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good day.
Thanks, PA.
KG, Kevin Gorg at Gorgomatic21, if you'd like to tweet with him during the Wild Avs this evening. An ode to a revered and respected dead Vox is next. Let's close 9 to noon with an ode to a dead Vox. May God rest the soul of 35-year Yankees play-by-play voice John Sterling. He died a few days ago and was a favorite of 9 to noon and many, many baseball fans around the world. 35 years with the New York Yankees. To be the radio play-by-play voice of the New York Yankees is voxing royalty in the first place. Like the late Vin Scully had it with the LA Dodgers, Chick Hearn with the LA Lakers. Of course, there are more, but those are big teams, big markets, and big jobs. You see, with these jobs, the lines are long and the gigs are hard to find. When you thrive for 3.5 decades like Sterling did, and with the New York Yankees, you are a peerless paragon, distinct, unique, boomer for a voice, quirky. Kevin Harlan possesses all those traits these days, but there used to be a bunch of them, and that's what I grew up listening to. May God rest the soul of John Sterling, former Yankees radio play-by-play voice. Here are some of our favorites.
1-0 Seattle, bottom of the 8th. 1 out, no one on. Here's Bernie. It'll be a 3-2. Swung on and hit high in the air to deep right. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone! Bernie goes boom! He drills a home run the short way in the right field seats. Burn, baby, burn! And the Yankees tie the ball game at 1. 2 away, and the Yankees down to their last out. And here's Tino. 1 on, 2 out. Pitch is swung on and drilled to deep right center. It is high. It is far. It is gone. The Bam Tino with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. He drills a game-tying 2-run home run. Oh, the Bam Tino delivers big time. And the Yankees on the precipice of defeat tie the game at 3. The pitch swung on, hit in the air to deep center. Pierre back, way back in deep center. It is gone! Gonzilla! A thriller by Godzilla. Hideki Matsui, the Sayonara Kid, just lost one over the center field fence. He's done it! A long high drive down the left field line, just fair for a 3-run home run. Alex Rodriguez has made Major League Baseball history, the youngest player ever to hit 500 home runs. An A-bomb from A-Rod. Swung on and driven to deep right. It is high. It is far. It is gone. He's done it again. Raul Ibanez has put on one of the great playoff displays of hitting. He drills one in the right field seats to win the game. Raul, so cool. Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win. Swung on and drilled to deep right. It is high. It is far. It is gone. It ties the game. Didi Gregorius hits a 3-run home run in the right field seats. Yes, indeedy. Didi Gregorius makes Yankee fans euphorious. And there's the chant, which you can hear in the background. Derek Jeter. Here comes the 3-2 from Price. Swung on and hit in the air to deep left. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. He's homered. Derek Jeter homers to tie the game. And there it is. Hit number 3,000. Derek Jeter has achieved another milestone in his Hall of Fame career. And the American League has been
Toronto.
Aaron Judge hits his 62nd.
What did I
All
say
the Yankees
wrong?
out of the dugout to greet him. Just think of it. 3 Yankee right fielders. The Babe hitting 60 and 27. The Jolly Roger hitting 61 and 61. And now Aaron Judge hits his 62nd home run, the most home runs any American leaguer has hit in a single season. And the American League has been alive for 120 years.
Love this.
This is Judgment Day. Case closed.
Wow, that was nice. Everything is so oversaturated now. And it's not that it's a bad thing, because it's society 2026. I mean, you have a million podcasts, so many things from which you can draw. But that can't be emulated.
No.
That can't be replicated. It was authentic. It was unique. It was impassioned. And may God rest the soul of the great John Sterling.
He gave us good times, didn't he?
No doubt. Good times from John Sterling. Hopefully some good times tonight from the Minnesota Wild. Listen to that game on KFAN at 7 o'clock. For Nordo, I'm Paul Allen. May God bless you and all of your families. And thank you for listening to KFAN. Here comes the program. Have a good day.
Good times. Scratching and surviving. Good times.
9 to noon.
Good times. Ain't we lucky we got 'em? Good times.
If it's good news or money, leave a message.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.